Hello, everyone. I'm Colleen Vanderzyden, and this is Creating an Inspired Life. I'm so happy you're here watching and listening today. I have a great show planned as usual. My passion is to help you live your best, your most unique, your most awesome life. And I do that as a certified spiritual life coach, where I help people take action steps to create the life of their dreams. I actually don't help them take the action steps. They actually take their own action steps. I just help them come up with them, what they might be, to create the life of their dreams, to help them achieve their goals, everything they want to do. I'm also a medium, and as a medium, I connect in with our loved ones on the other side. And I love to talk to them to see what they have to say, to see what kind of expressions of love they have coming through for you. It's a wonderful thing to have that privilege to be a medium and be the assistance to them on the other side to reach you and tell you what you want to hear, or what they really want you to hear is actually more accurate. Every week on this show, I do a coaching tip, and then we take a caller or two. And this week, my coaching tip is on what advice you would give your younger self. Have you ever thought about this? Knowing what you know now, what advice would you give to your younger self? As we get older, we start to see, if we look back, we can see how maybe we had some beliefs that limited us. We may have had some opportunities that we missed because we were too scared to take them. We may have spent time worrying about what others think, worrying about what might happen, what could happen, what did happen. We might spend time putting ourselves down, being self-critical and judgmental, usually telling ourselves we're not good enough. And when we think of giving our younger self advice, we're here at this time, so we can actually look back at that time with some distance. And because of that distance, we can be more objective. We don't have whatever problems were happening when we're younger. We're not as emotionally attached to them because we've gotten through them already. We're in a different place now. So we can look back objectively and see how far we've come. We can have a clearer vision of our beliefs and how they've affected us. We can see if they've limited us in some way. We can see how they've influenced our experience of life. We can see how our beliefs may very well have affected our emotions. We can see that we would have been happy, sad, or miserable. We may have created that based on beliefs. We may see how we created the way we think. Were we positive? Were we negative? Are we judgmental? Are we optimistic? Are we critical? We can see that our beliefs influenced how we chose to act. Did we go after our dreams, or did something stop us from getting there? Did it limit us in some way? Were we too scared, worried? Were we not good enough, and we didn't do the things we thought we would do? A few weeks ago, I asked my Facebook friends this question: what advice they would give to their younger selves. And part of the reason I did it was just to see what they said. I had no idea I was going to talk about it tonight, but it seemed like such a good topic, because all of their responses were very unique to themselves, of course, because we're all individuals, unique individuals, but they all carried the same theme, which was all about living true to ourselves, living on our terms, being confident enough to go after what we want, being confident enough to be who we are, to do what we want to do. We would tell ourselves things now, or looking back, we would tell ourselves things like, don't let fear rule you. We would say, believe in yourself, be yourself, don't care what others think, go after your dreams. When you think of these things, what kind of advice would you give yourself? Would you tell yourself to stop being a people pleaser and actually go after what you really want? Would you say, just take the risk, try it, see what happens? Would you say, stop worrying, that's enough already? Look at the positives instead of always the negatives. Would you say, follow your heart, don't let anybody else influence you and tell you what to do? Would you say something like this? These are all very interesting things to think about. Having this, being at that distance. We have now, at this point in our lives, so much more wisdom and experience, of course, than we had when we were younger. We might as well use it. We can look back and we can see that we did the best we could at the time. Okay? We can see maybe that there was some kind of a subconscious belief system that was influencing us, maybe getting in the way of what we wanted to achieve. And usually it's a fear-based belief system. Now, when we look back, though, thinking of the advice we want to give. We don't want to judge ourselves and say, oh, I can't believe you did that. That was horrible. You don't want to do that. You want to be objective. We don't want to put yourself down or anything like that. What's done is done. And you can take that experience and look at it from a different way now because you have that wisdom and that experience to know. When I think back on my life, and what I would say to myself, and if you've been listening to the show at any point, you've probably gathered that I'm a type A person. I worry and stress over all sorts of things. I'm much, much, much better now. But I would tell my younger self to live life to the fullest, to say yes to the opportunities, to live enthusiastically, because I like to be enthusiastic about things. Live enthusiastic on my terms and not let that fear stop me. There were times where I didn't say things to other people because I was afraid of what people would say back to me, or I thought they would judge me in some way. I didn't try some things because I was too scared. I just was too scared. I didn't do it. I spent many a night worrying over stupid things that I don't know why I did that. But in looking back with the objective, non-judgmental way, I can also see there were times I ignored my fears. And when I can see those times, that's proof right here that I can and I have lived to the fullest and no fear. And if you look back, you'll be able to see times you did it too. We've all had that opportunity. We've all done it. So that's proof that we can do it. Now, I think about this. If I had realized some of this stuff sooner, I might have had a more awesome life, I'm sure. However, I also know that things happen the way they're supposed to when they're supposed to happen. And I learn what I need to learn when I'm supposed to learn it. When I verbalize this advice I would give to my younger self, when I actually say words, not just feelings, it clarifies to me what's important to me at this time. This advice is actually relevant now. This is advice that I can use at this time. It shows me I have the ability to live life fully, truly, to who I am right now, who I want to be at this present moment, and to stay in the present moment for that matter. This idea to look back, remember, is not to look at your failures, but instead to use the wisdom you've gained from everything that's happened in your life. And it will tell you what idea or belief is very important for you right now, because you'll see how you lived up to it or didn't live up to it. And you can say, you know what, that is important to me. You want to be objective about that. Once you've clarified this advice you would give to your younger self, you can see how much you've learned already. You've learned so much. You're in such a good place now to do this, to give yourself this advice. You can see how much you've grown. You can see how you've created your life and how far you've come. You might be able to see how, for whatever reason, there were some parts in your life that you created based on fear, but now you have the ability and the choice to choose differently and create your life on your own terms. How awesome is that? You have this ability. The things that so many of us have learned are things like being true to ourselves, to believe in who we are and what we want, to accept ourselves as we are. Some other things that people have learned are to trust ourselves, trust our judgment, trust what we want. Trust what we want is what we want. Don't let other people influence you. Some of us have learned to trust God or a universal energy, that there's another power out there that's greater than us that can help us along our path. Some of us have decided, and this probably goes for everybody here, is refusing to let the fears stop us, because that gets in the way of everything. And being willing to risk stepping off the path of comfort and getting into creating the life you want, getting into those goals and the dreams. You don't want to put things off. Someday is not promised. You may not have time. Why are you putting things off? Don't put them off. Putting them off is another form of fear. We want to enjoy our lives. That's the whole point of being here, to enjoy it. You want to stop and smell the roses, as someone said on my Facebook page. You want to learn to love yourself, love others, and love your life. This, I believe, is actually the most important. Love. Love goes everywhere. It goes all around us. There are so many things. When we're being true to ourselves, we're actually loving ourselves and showing ourselves love and honor. Now, at this point in our lives, there will be days, of course, you know that this is what you want to do, but it just doesn't work out. It might be hard to practice it. Life gets in our way sometimes. But if you're aware of it, you can continue to work towards this philosophy, if you will. because you do have that power to create the life you want. You want to live this advice now, the advice to be true to yourself in whatever way speaks to you individually, because we all have our unique way of looking at life and wanting things. So whatever speaks to you, that's what's important to you now. So the advice you would give to your younger self is what you want to give to yourself now, and just stay on that path. That's an important path for you. You want to live your life on your terms without any fear-based limitations. And that is my coaching tip of the day. And it's basically just being true to yourself, isn't it? And checking out your own path, what you want to do, who you want to be. Now, you can reach me at psychicmediumcolleen.com. You can also find me on Facebook, Medium Coach Colleen Vanderzyden, and I always love to hear from you. And we are actually going to move on to our first caller, who is Janelle from New York in the United States. Janelle, how are you today?
I'm well. How about yourself?
I'm doing very well. Do you have something in particular you'd like to talk about today?
I guess I just want to kind of focus on me tonight because I have a lot going on. I am extremely stressed. I'm in like a deep hole right now, and I'm trying to build myself out of it, and I'm having a hard time doing it, and I don't know what's out there for me to grab to pull myself out of this.
Okay. So let me just ask you something for a second here. You said you don't know what's out there to help you grab yourself to pull out of this. Are you are you hoping there's something literally out there that's going to change your whole life and make things different?
Possibly. I think so. I just want to make everything better, and it's very hard for me to get that push to do so as I'm trying and trying. I have kids, and I just want to make everything better for my family. But I know that I need to be better myself, and I don't feel like I'm at that point.
Okay. I'm actually going to go in coaching mode with you for just a moment here because so I think I'm going to do a psychic thing first. So I guess we're going to mix it up. We're going to mix it up for a second because I can tell, actually. Isn't that funny? I just never know what's going to come out of my mouth. I can tell that you're a very responsible person. I can tell you're somebody who's always done the right things and you followed the rules. You bought into the belief system that if you worked hard, you did what you were supposed to, life would work out really well. And what we're finding is that sometimes it doesn't. It's unfortunate, but there we go. And I'm also getting the impression, too, that you are one to actually put other people's needs ahead of your own quite a bit.
Always.
And
yeah.
I don't feel you really take care of yourself. I was just talking about, honoring yourself, loving yourself, being true to who you are. And that's talk about a good tie-in here. Because it's almost as though you have reached this point in your life where you need something else. You need something else to make life feel right to you. And I can tell you 100% every time somebody feels like this, that their life, it just doesn't feel right. You just kind of go, I don't know what to do. And we have that confusion, the questioning, the doubt, and all of that stuff. 100% every time somebody feels this, they are right at the beginning of the great time. Every single time. And it's amazing. Yeah, I know. And it sounds so weird, doesn't it? Because when I tell my coaching clients, or even myself, when I get that same feeling, I'm like, okay, I know this means I'm at the beginning. But every single time, invariably, what happens is you come out of this and you feel so much better. What's happening is your insides are just shaking up now. It's basically everything just has to change. And you're reaching the point now where it is all about you, where you need to start taking care of yourself a little bit more as well. And I'm not saying you're not taking care of yourself, okay? I just know that you put other people's needs ahead of yours quite a bit.
Absolutely,
a lot. Do you do that a lot? I'm like, yeah, quite a bit. Yeah, and you do that. And there's, I also get the feeling, you have to tell me if this is right. Have you actually gone around your house moving things, trying to change their physical locations to make yourself feel better?
Just a little bit, yeah.
Okay. Because I want to do that with you. I want to move things. But I can tell you, even with moving things, you're still going to have some very similar feelings, okay?
They're still existent.
Yeah, but I understand because I do the same thing. I want to move things around me and what's happening, and your exterior, your physical world around you is actually indicative of your inner world. So if you have clutter in your house, big piles of things, or just things you don't have time to put away because you're too busy with life, that will start to affect your mind, and your mind will start to affect that. Okay, so if you're starting to get messes in the house, because if you look at my house, you know exactly what I'm saying with that, because I have quite the mess going right now. It's indicative of how my head is, So if you have some things like that. If you don't, amen, praise God. So that's good. But if that starts happening, be aware of that, because it's kind of funny when it starts happening, because then we'll start moving things and we'll start to feel better. What is the most favorite thing you like to do for yourself?
I honestly would like to just go out, sit by the water, and relax. That's all I want to do. But I can't because I have all my responsibilities, and my kids, of course, come first, so...
Okay, so can you bring the kids with you?
That's my favorite pastime.
Can you bring the kids with you and go sit by water?
Then there's no peace.
Yeah, I understand. Are they on the younger side then, huh?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, now do you have a partner at home, somebody else, another adult with you?
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay, what about that person taking the children for an hour? So you
it's
can go
hard
to the beach.
Because he has changing work schedules, so it doesn't really fit in so easy. I can't just grasp that peace moment.
Okay. And so is there an alternative thing that would remind you of the water and the relaxing that you can take after the kids go to bed?
Possibly listening to, the spa music or something like that, then laying down and envisioning it. But
maybe a nice hot bath.
Yeah.
With some nice music playing, that might mean some candles, things like that. Something like that, because what it sounds to me is like you need some private time more than anything. Yeah. You need private time, and that's what you need to take care of yourself. So in that case, you have to find time. You'll have to take small moments where you can do that. Do you work outside the home? I'm not feeling you working.
Oh, no, I'm working outside the home, yes.
Okay, and that would explain the brain going crazy in your head, because when you come home, you're probably really tired then.
Yes, it's just like going to another job. As much as I love it, it's still a lot,
I know, yeah, I understand fully. I went through the same thing. I understand fully, and it can be very draining. My recommendation for you is to find those moments, and you're going to have to steal them. Literally, you're going to have to steal them. You're going to have to figure out what time somebody else can be there to help you. You're going to have to do it after the kids go to bed. You're going to have to take a minute to meditate at work. Have you heard of Wayne Dyer? He's a really big spiritual teacher.
Yes.
Okay. So I saw him years ago, and he said once that he did his most meditation at a red light. He would stop at the red light, shut his eyes, and he said somebody would always let me know when I had to go. Now, I don't recommend that.
Oh, my God.
But yeah, can you imagine? But it is kind of funny, to think, because his point was not to, cause car accidents, but was that we can take a minute or two here and there to do a little bit of a meditation. Even a minute meditation, when I teach meditation classes and I do a minute, it makes a huge difference in the people. They can't imagine. They have no idea. The minute passes, they're like, that felt so long. So that's something else that you might want to consider as well. Because I do feel down the line for you that you're going to look back at this time and you're going to think that this was awesome. It was tough and it was hard, but it was awesome. And you're going to see how much better your life got after this time. And I don't feel that it's going to take that long for things to start shifting for you. So I do want to mention that too. So, I go 6 months to a year. Things feel a lot different to me in that time frame. So I want to tell you that as well.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Well, Janelle, I suppose I should let you go. I'm loving talking to you, however. But so it was really nice talking to you. Take your time. Take your minutes to yourself, okay?
Okay, well, thank you.
Okay, thanks. And that was Janelle from New York. And next we have Candace from Ontario, Canada. Candace, how are you?
I am good. How are you?
Good. Do you have something in particular you want to talk about tonight?
Yeah, I just kind of want to know why my life path has been so destructive and if it will get better in the future.
Okay. The feeling I'm getting is that you have a bit of a self-critical part of yourself. Would you say that you had a low self-esteem when you were younger?
Well, all my life, yeah.
Yeah, because I feel a bit of that. And frequently people who have low self-esteem will go into, it's almost a subconscious self-sabotaging behavior. And what will happen is you may make choices that are not in your best interests. And because of that, it actually attracts more crap. Have you gone through the periods, and I feel you have, of where it seems like it's one thing after another going wrong for you?
Yeah, but I'm like not doing anything to cause it.
Exactly.
Like I keep to my own. I help people every day. Like, I raised 2 girls on my own. Like, I don't know. Like, my father cheated with my mother to have me. So, I don't know. It's just like all my life. It's been one thing after another. Like, I haven't caught a break, even with my partner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is the partner not going well right now?
Oh, no, I left him like 4 years ago. He was abusive.
Okay.
So.
Okay, well, that explains the weird feeling I got in my stomach when you said partner, because all of a sudden I felt like nauseous in my stomach. It was horrible. I was like, oh, God. Okay, congratulations. I'm glad you took care of that. So
it was really hard. It was 17 years, you know.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is hard because, we get into that habit, that routine, and it's hard to change it. It's hard to change it up. But you did. Okay, so that's a big plus. So you've got to remember that, okay, too? You've got to remember that. I'm really big on talking about, and I don't know if you've listened to me before, but I'm really big on talking about how we create our lives. And we all have crap. We all have challenges. We all have issues. We all have all sorts of stuff that we just cannot believe. And sometimes it goes in waves and cycles, and it's one thing after another. So we can't change the circumstances. Sometimes we can, but usually we can't. Life happens the way it does. But we can always change how we look at things. And for you, I feel that you're in the place now of wanting to do that, wanting to look at things from a different way. I can tell that you are also actually very kind, and especially when you mentioned about helping other people, and you're very nice, you're very loving, and all of that. You're doing the right things, okay? You're just getting some crap, okay? So... yeah. If you equate yourself with the crap and feel like I always get this, then you're just going to bring more of it with you. If you can somehow detach from that crap and say, it's not my crap. It happens to be here, but I'm going to handle it in a different way. That may very well help. Now, this is a very high-level concept. Sometimes it's hard for people to grasp this because we have that stuff and we think, man, I just have the worst luck. What is wrong here? Why is this? And really, it's not you at all. And I actually do feel, though, with you that even though you may have some issues, things going on, that there are other things that are going well in your life now, too. So what are some things that are going well in your life?
Well, my daughters are good, and I work for some really good people. Like, I help them, so, yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Yeah. That's about it. I bet you there's more. Because I don't feel you as having, I don't even know what I want to say, such a horrible life that you can barely get out in the morning, that kind of thing. And that's what some people have.
No, I get out every morning.
And you're doing the right things. That's the thing. I do want to acknowledge that as well. You're making the effort. Some of my clients, I've had them write down, 100 positive things about themselves. And that can be all sorts of things from, I like my hair to, I helped somebody today, or I got out of bed, I whatever, anything possible. Because sometimes what will happen is that'll start to shift and they start looking for the more positive things. And when you start looking for the more positive things are attracted to you. And I always tell them to write it down, though, because if they don't write it down, we always think we're going to remember. Oh, yeah, I'll remember that. And then you get home later and you don't remember. So I have a notebook with me. I have paper everywhere. And, or write it in my phone or something. Yeah. And that might very well help, because I'm feeling, and where are we now? We're in the end of September. Oh my goodness, I only have 2 minutes left. That's okay. I can talk fast. We're in the end of September. I'm feeling that if you're actually taking what I'm saying and considering it to look at things in a positive way and all of that stuff, I'm feeling that within 4 weeks you are going to notice a shift. Within 4 weeks, okay? Which is quick. I never tell anybody anything like that. Never. Ever. But I feel like you're in that right place where you can do this, where you can start to go,
Thank you so much.
This crap happened. Yes, and you'll be able to do this. I know you will. It's going to be awesome. I'm telling you, by the end of October, you're going to be amazed.
Right.
Okay, I guess I better let you go. Well, thank you, Candace. It was so nice talking to you.
Much.
Yes. It's always so interesting to hear what's happening in people's lives and the problems we all have, because we all have them. And you've got to remember, we all have these problems, and not to take it personally like it's us creating it necessarily. We create our reactions to them and how we deal with them, but we are not creating the problems. So today's coaching tip was on what advice you would give to your younger self. Think about that. What would you give to your younger self? And use it to yourself. Use it now, because it's probably something that's important to you. So think about it now. Be true to yourself. Live your dream. Step out there. Get rid of those fears. Don't live based on fear-based limitations. We don't want to do that. I'm Colleen Vanderzyden, and this was Creating an Inspired Life. I'm so happy you are watching and listening. If you would like to reach me, you can reach me at psychicmediumcolleen.com and on Facebook, Medium Coach Colleen Vanderzyden. And I will be talking to you next week. You have a wonderful week. Goodbye.